Ho, ho, ho. For the first time in years, I'm actually excited about a new product launch. What is it? Well, roll titles and we'll find out. Well, hi YouTube, Brian James, that Micro Four Thirds guy with you once again, and I am genuinely excited about a new product launch. And if you know me, I don't tend to get excited about new product launches. I'm a bit of a cynic, but this one really has got to me. And what is it? Well, it's the new OM3, but it's not the only new product I'm excited about. So keep watching and you'll find out, because there's more to come. But what about this OM3 being launched today, the 6th of February, and well, it's just something which has gripped me, because I started out with my good gear, what I call my good gear, my gear which actually set me off properly on the path towards photography some 40 odd years ago, nearly 50 years ago, where the camera called an Olympus OM1N. I loved it, still have it today. It's through next door in my room, in my office. And it was a fantastic camera. I remember David Bailey, the photographer, was leading the way with it. I remember getting a catalogue with this wonderful camera in it, an OM catalogue in that wonderful sort of bronze and black logo that I had at the time. And I was captivated by all the accessories you could get for this camera. But it looked slim, it looked sleek, it looked professional, but it looked, well, just modern compared to what everything else was. Now, that's obviously 45 years ago. So what's happened since then? Well, we've had huge cameras, we've had small cameras, we've gone digital, we've had all sorts of things happen. But we've never, to me, justified some of the wonderful feelings I got when I got my OM1N. Now, for several years, we've been having some of our Olympus users screaming out for a new Pen F. The Pen F is one of those digital cameras which, well, it's become synonymous with retro cameras amongst photographers, but it didn't come out as a particularly good selling camera at first on the Micro Four Thirds scene. In fact, sales performance has been really rather poor. And it's thought that a lot of people don't like the rangefinder style, that offset sort of viewfinder. I personally love it. But it seems that the Pen F actually developed something of a cult status a long time after it was sort of almost deleted from people's minds as being a practical new build camera. But we've had an upsurge from me too about a Pen F Mark II. We need something new to fit that sort of role for the people who want the more traditional cameras, and we just haven't been getting it. But now I think they've got the real replacement for it. Not another Pen F, don't get me wrong, but this is the new Olympus OM3. The OM3, which looks, as far as I can see, like the original OM1N. It's got that same sort of body style. It's got the pentaprism type eyepiece up on the top, but of course that's now not an eyepiece. It's an EVF, and a very, very good one at that. And what it's done is it's merged that beautiful camera that I bought nearly 50 years ago, nearly half a century ago, into the modern world. Now, I've got very few specs on this at the moment. You're going to be inundated with videos the next couple of days with specs. I'm not going to review it. I'm just going to take what I've got here. But I'm going to be talking about the passion that I've got for what I'm seeing and why I'm suddenly excited. So let's have a look at some of those specs and see what's happening. Well, first of all, for euro and dollars, it's round about the $1999. 1999 euros. It's not cheap. It's been talked about at 1,699 UK pounds. So it's not a cheap camera. But we don't want a cheap flagship camera. Flagship? Did I say flagship? Well, for me it is, because the OM1 was the flagship camera when it came out. Now, when the new OM1 came out, the new digital OM1 a few years ago, I was excited about it, but there was still just something missing. To me, it was a nice revamp, but it was still just a revamp of the EM1 Mark III. And then we had the OM1 Mark II came out, and that was a little bit of an improvement again on the OM1, but they still lacked that magic. They still lacked that feel that I got when I first clapped eyes on an OM1N all those years ago in the late 1970s. And I think what we have now is the perfect stand-in for that. I don't buy new cameras, as you may know. I've bought very few new cameras over the recent years, but I'm so tempted by this, even though I don't have the money. But it could be the sort of camera which is going to really grip me in my later years in life. It may be my last camera to buy in my life. You don't know how long you got left. So maybe this would be the last camera I actually buy. Maybe so. Let's have a look at the spec anyway. I've got them down here. It's all on pre-order and things, of course. These will not come on the market quite so easily yet. But 20 megapixel sensor, the same stacked sensor as an OM1 Mark II. It's got a slightly different coating on the CMOS sensor to prevent dust. What else do we have? These figures, by the way, are coming from 43 Rumors. So thank you, 43 Rumors, for providing us with these details. It's got a 3-inch, 1.62 million dot swivel touchscreen. I'm reading this. The same as on the OM1 Mark II. So we're getting all the parts. We're basically an OM1 Mark II in a retro cabinet, a retro housing. But what I really do think is the little touch of genius. Where on the OM1 film camera you had the dial which would do your shutter delay, so you could actually take selfies, tick it around, it would buzz itself around again. Here we have a dial, a mode dial, just like on the Pen F. Absolutely fabulous, because an awful lot of people like that odd dial on the Pen F, and that sits just where you would have had the original time release dial. So it's even keeping the feeling of that OM1N, that film camera, into this by replacing what is now a useless instrument, because it's all on the top, and putting it there, putting it on the front, making it look and feel as if that original OM1 did. What else? Overall build quality is just like the Pen F, so in other words, you can probably drop it off a building and it'll break the floor underneath rather than itself, because the Pen F is built like a brick. It's absolutely fabulous. So if it's got the same sort of build quality as that, this should be a nice solid camera. And of course the OM1 was built like that. Mine's been through hell and back. I actually had a couple of them over the years, but my original one, the one that I still have, has been through hell. And if it's built anything like that, like the original OM1, oh, it's going to be good. Price, I say, is around about the $2,000, £1,700. Great. So I've been showing you some photographs. These, again, the photographs I've taken from 43 Rumors, and as best I can. I really do appreciate what they've done on this. But let's go back to what I was saying about the feel and about the passion. It's not about the specs. I'm not interested in the specs particularly at the moment. I know that it's a good camera. If it's using basically the OM1 Mark II in the internals, it's a good camera. I'm not sure if there's going to be accessories for it, such as battery grips and things. I certainly hope so, because it would still be in the style of the OM1. In fact, it would be even better if the battery grip was styled like the original OM1N's battery grips. Well, they weren't battery grips, were they? They were power winders. But if they could have them in that sort of style, that would be really good. Can you imagine going on a photo shoot looking as if you've got a 50-year-old camera, but with all the quality of a brand new camera? I think this is really, really good. I'm thoroughly excited by this. I've been very disappointed by OM System for the last couple of years since they came on the scene, because I didn't think their marketing was particularly good, and I didn't think they had a real grasp of what was going on out there. The other thing I was worried about with OM System was, are we just sitting on the technology which had been introduced by Olympus, and it was just sitting there legacy, hadn't been released by the time the company was sold to GIP, and aren't we just sitting on what was there, and is it going to stop coming after that? Was there going to be another Olympus product which would be interesting? Well, I think it's been proved, for me at least, right. We've got a new Olympus product. I think this is probably one of the most major issues of equipment. Not an issue as a bad thing, but the major sort of product release that OM System will do. Because it is showing to me, I'm presuming that this wasn't in the pipeline beforehand, but it's showing to me certainly innovation from OM System, which I haven't been seeing and it's been lacking. So over to you, OM System. Keep on going like this, because I'm really impressed. Wow. But that's not all. No, I told you there was something else coming, but before I tell you what is coming, do me a favour. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, please hit the subscribe button below. It costs you nothing to do that. All it does is just put my videos onto your subscription line, and it lets you know when the videos that I'm putting out are coming along, so you'll see every new video. Also hit the little bell and tick all, because that will notify you every time I put a new video out. And you know, the other thing is as well, just give me a thumbs up on this and all the other videos. You may not like them all, but if you give a thumbs up, what it does is get YouTube's algorithms to spread the word and to promote the video so more and more people can see it. So there we are, the OM3, fabulous. But I did say that I had some bonuses. In fact, I've got 3 bonuses on this, and they're all new lenses from OM System. So being announced at the same time, and I'm finding these just as exciting as the OM3 release. So let's show you what they are. Let's have a little look at them. I have very little details about these. I've only just found out about them being released a day or two back. So these are new and exciting to me. So let's see the first one. Well, the first one is a new version of the 100 to 400. But according to what 43 Rumors have written down here, and again, thank you to 43 Rumors for this information. But according to that, it has in-lens stabilization, which is fine, but it says it's got 5-axis stabilization. Now, I don't know if that's meant to sync into the 5-axis in the camera, or if it has some form of 5-axis image stabilization in the lens as well, which syncs in. Whichever way, it's an improved image stabilization lens, which will sync to the 5-axis image stabilization in the OM1, OM1 Mark II, and of course the new OM3. So that's going to be exciting. That's going to be a really stable lens. And if you remember a couple of months ago when I did that review of the dangerous lens, the 12 to 100, which f4, which I loved, I was talking about the sync IS on that one and how effective it was. Well, if that was so effective, this is going to be even better. This is going to blow your mind. This is going to be unbelievably good, I think. So if you're considering one of the newer type cameras and you're going to get the 100 to 400, if that's the lens which fits for you, this could be a really good lens to buy because the stabilization should be excellent. I've got no idea what speed the lens is. There's nothing written down about that. It's literally what I've told you is what I know. But it should be really exciting. Let's see later on today what's really coming. The second one, well, the second one I think is one of the most major lenses you can get. It's a prime lens, and it's the 25mm f1.8. These wonderful primes that, again, I've been shouting for new versions of these for such a long time, but to have a new version which has got weather sealing. Now, this has got dust and splash protection. Maybe it's not a full dunk it in the water type weather sealing, but most of us don't need that. We want something where if it starts raining, we're not going to have problems with condensation and moisture getting into the camera and into the lens. This is going to give us a little bit of protection so that we can carry on with our shoot. The other thing about the lens, though, is it's not just been weather sealed, a couple of rubber rings stuck in, a couple of grommets, but it looks like it's been a total new redesign, or at least the case is. It looks smaller, it looks neater, doesn't look as long as the 25mm previously did. So this Mark II, the 25mm 1.8 lens, I think is going to be major, significant lens. This is our nifty 50. This is our standard prime lens, which lets us get all these wonderful shots at a reasonable speed of f1.8. And usually with prime lenses, they are super, super sharp and super, super clear. So this is going to be a major update in the lens line. And again, I'm praising OM Systems. I think OM Systems are doing a fabulous job. They've listened to the customers. They've listened to what we wanted. But that's not the only one. You know, this is getting better and better, because my favourite primes, I have 2 favourite primes, the 45mm f1.8, which hasn't been touched as yet, and the 17mm f1.8. And there is a 17mm f1.8 Mark II being released too. And again, that's got the splash proofing and dust proofing. And I think that this, again, is wonderful. Of the prime lenses I take outside rather than shooting indoors, it's the 17mm, which is the one that I take. It's the one that I'll tend to take some landscape shots with. It's the one that I'll tend to take building shots with. It gives that wonderful 35mm equivalent on full frame type field of view, which has got, there's a feel about that which is just nice when you're taking some of the shots. And this, to have that dust and splash protection on it, is a major, major improvement. Again, like the 25mm, it seems to have been redesigned to make it that little bit funkier, a little bit nicer, and a little bit more modern than it used to be. Because all those 17mm lenses, it's quite a chunky lens for a Micro Four Thirds prime lens. And I'm over the moon with this. I think if it can go anywhere near the old 17mm, it's a winner anyway. But to have that extra protection and a bit of better styling and a smaller profile, this has got to be a real good lens and a lens that I'd like to own. So thank you, OM System. Thank you for listening to us. We are the customers here. We're the ones who actually put money in your pockets. And if we're ignored, we tend to get upset. But it sounds as if you've taken the time to listen to us, to work out what we want, and to hopefully have a fantastic product which will fit in with your needs, but also our customer needs. So thanks for that. Lumix, if you're watching, I'm still waiting for a decent updated version of the G100, not just with a USB-C socket on, but a proper G100 with all the stabilization things. So, and also a new GX8, I've asked for that. So have a listen to OM System, watch what OM System have done, and hopefully you'll join in too. But let me know your thoughts below in the comments. I really want to know your thoughts. Is this just a fad having the retro type styling, or is this something which is going to excite photographers? Does it excite you as much as it is me? Tell me again what you think about the new lenses. Are they a big improvement? Have we been listened to? Is this what we really wanted? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're in the comments below, have a little look on the details, and you'll find that these wonderful people have already looked in there and they found the link to my Patreon channel. And these wonderful people are my patrons who will help support the channel. So thank you. They get some updates every so often which are ahead of you. There's a video just gone up today which you're not going to see for another 2 weeks, but they're seeing it already. So consider being a patron. If you'd just like to give a bit of one-off support, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link, www.buymeacoffee.com/Brian James. But also, while you're down there, have a little look for these new videos which have been released. Have a look at one of those. And also, keep on having fun with your photography. I'll see you soon.